Hi everyone, I'm Sandra. Welcome to Streamside TV. In today's video, we're gonna review one of the best shows from 2017, Stranger Things Season 2. There will be spoilers along the line, so you've been advised. As the Duffer brothers recently admitted, they start their character development from a stereotypical standpoint. This is more obvious in some cases than others, like, for example, Steve. Mainly flat character, typical handsome boy from school, praised and celebrated by his entourage and almost the whole school. But it's not how a character starts, but how it grows that matter. And in the case of Steve, it's really obvious the changes that have been performed in this character through season 2. He's the best example of how a mainly flat character can achieve goals and really grow and get in depth and texture. Story-wise, we have revisited some places, some familiar places, but this time we've went so much farther and deeper than the rabbit hole. Like, for instance, in the case of Demogorgon, these alien-like creatures, now we're passing on to the Mind Flyer, this more vague and evil entity that, in my opinion, is so much more alluring for us viewers. Like, for instance, in those Stephen King novels, that the evil entity is not something physical, but is something that you can't reach and you can't even put a face on. I think that really serves the purpose of the series of rising the tension with the expectation of what will come next. Regarding character arcs in season 2, I have to say there are two favorite relationships that have been established that are really special for me. First of all, I'll have to say Harper and Eleven in their dysfunctional father-daughter relationship that allow us to get a glimpse of how broken these characters truly are inside and what they mean for each other and how they bond and they truly need each other and they feed off each other's energy in order to achieve what they need to, because they're actually very strong and very weak, both of them at the same time. The other relationship that comes like out of nowhere is this adorable bromance between Dustin and Steve. How could we thought Steve could be such a well-rounded character, mentoring our beloved Dustin in such a way, with such tenderness? We never would have guessed this. And it has been a great surprise on both sides, because both characters are so perfect for each other and they give structure to the story as well. Now let's have a look at the new incorporations for this season. Max. Being the cool, different kid that she is, I think her character was totally wasted with this kind of like last minute idea of have a fling with Lucas. I think they wasted her time, her character, and her potential, which was great. It is a shame. It is actually a shame because Lucas was as flat as a pancake. And that's really sad because it's another character that we want to know more of. We have a glimpse of his relationship with the family. We want to know more about him. But somehow writers didn't think so, didn't think it was worth to take the time to really develop this character. So I think this made the story flop in some areas. And I think for season 3, they should rethink that and try to do something with those characters, something worthy. Now, what about Billy? Such a needed character after Steve's departure from the bad guys. We needed to fill that blank somehow. And this Billy character appears being so histrionic, so perfect for the role, so perfect for the story, absolutely hilarious. I loved him. I loved the character development from the writers as well, giving him a backstory with his father's violence towards him. It's like a character that you want to learn more about, and it's like a promise of there's something else there that we really want to find out. Eventually we will. Also, I have to say that the scene with Mike's mom is out of this world. I mean, he displays this Axl Rose's rough kind of sexiness that is absolutely funny. And the way the mom is completely mesmerized by him is absolutely great. And finally, Bob. That was a low blow, I have to say. Using Sam from Lord of the Rings, Mikey from the Goonies. I mean, of course we love him. We were meant to love him. This adorable, quirky, tech-oriented puppy that wants to have his part in this family. So we really rooted for him. And how his journey changes from a characters that we don't really think about that much. He starts to grow and grow and ends up being the hero, taking the sacrifice. I mean, it was an unbelievable surprise for all of us, I think. In my opinion, that's what it is. Doesn't matter that mom doesn't seem all that interested. That's the only little thing. She's more interested in Harper. But you know, going back for a moment to speak about vacant or flat characters in the show, I'm sorry to say, where was Mike in this season? I mean, you cannot take one of your main protagonists of the series and put it in the trunk until the snowball. I mean, it makes no sense for me. It's quite a shame, although at the end he has his moment, but he's completely vacant from the whole script. There's nothing really in there. And that takes us to Jonathan and Nancy. How can I put this? I'm so bored of these two. I mean, is it me? Or how can Nancy be still attracted to this guy? During season 1, it was brilliant. It was perfect. He was the underdog, the rebel with a cause. I mean, he had this thing going on, right? That's all gone. Now we have this guy with the watery eyes all the time, with a puppy face. Anyway, the same thing can be said about her. These two characters don't mean anything anymore since Will has come back and Barb is no longer an issue. What's the purpose of these two? Because they've lost all the chemistry. I mean, they meet this Bowman guy to get them drunk and pushed in order to make out. So I don't see it. The only moment to shine for Nancy was during the ball, of course, with our Dustin. That was really cute and really sweet. But period. On a totally different note, Will was spectacular this season. His vulnerability, his endearing acting, he really made us root for him. He carried on his shoulders most of the drama this season. He's been suffering from start to finish, also showing great dignity in it. and how the child tries to overcome the fear that he's feeling. It was unbelievable. Will, for me, was one of the best things this season. He's really an amazing actor, and I really hope to see more of this during season 3 as well. Joyce. Given that Winona Ryder is not one of my favorite actors of all time, I have to say she's spot on Stranger Things. She's fierce, she's collected, even through the hardest times when her little boy is really suffering the most. She seems calm and capable, and I really loved her for that. She shows all her colors in her performance, and I think she has to be praised, because me personally, I've never expected that from her. Another personal favorite of mine is Harper. This actor portrays this character full of flaws and weakness, but an inner strength and his capability to stand up for what is right makes him absolutely believable. And for me, it's my favorite. I'd have to say, he's my favorite performance and my favorite actor from the adult cast. Harper is the anti-hero, and he saves the world time and time again. Also having this so sad backstory that he has with this little girl that really makes the ground for what is coming with Eleven and the relationship that they're engaged in. And finally, 11. Millie Bobby Brown was absolutely perfect, showing us the wide range of colors that she has in this character, in her performance. She's absolutely strong, and it's growing fast. We don't know how she really can start season 3. I'm really looking forward to see her development. And I guess this shows us how a character can be provided with the right set of tools from the writer's standpoint. And like in the case of Steve, if a character doesn't work, you can turn him around. And if it doesn't work at all, drop it. And if you have to put someone in the background, you can do that as well, as long as it works for the story. That's what really matters, right? The end of season 2 reached its climax with 11 coming to save her friends and shut the break. And we finally could experience the snowball. Our characters were given a chance to have a break from the drama finally and celebrate their preteens experience in this really funny, really sweet scene as a John Hughes perfect homage that as John Hughes fans, I guess we really appreciate. And as I said before, the Lucas and Max kiss in the snowball was somehow unnecessary and precipitated, but having Mike and 11 share their feelings towards each other finally was a wonderful moment. The choice of Every Breath You Take by the Police for the closure of this episode was really the right thing to do. This song, originally written by Sting as a recount of his marriage breaking up, can seem at times like a love song, but it actually isn't. It's the recount of the story from a stalker's standpoint. So it's really dark and very appropriate for this ending. Overall, the season was a success, flaws and all, at least for me it was. We could go so much farther in 11's story, and also we could learn so much about the Upside Down, although there's still some veil that we can only imagine what is underneath. the most important is we could get reacquainted with these characters we love so much. And that's what we're looking for. And that's what we want. Because it's this familiar place we like to go back, always go back, like your parents' village, or like a Stephen King novel going back to Castle Rock. For season 3, I hope some of the storylines start to collide, and some of those characters that were more in the background get their chance to go center stage and tell the story. I hope we don't get more unnecessary detours from the main story, which is somehow infuriating sometimes. And I really hope for something surprising and exciting. I think we might get it. Until season 3 is aired, we'll have plenty of time to speculate and play with ideas and put them on the table and share. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on subscribe and don't forget to like. Thank you so much for your time. Sorry about the rants. Please feel free to comment down below, join the conversation, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.